Good afternoon. Welcome to the Meltdown. Hope you're enjoying your day. Lots going on out there. Mostly, I want to share information about the coin business, what's going on in our industry, why people are really getting really psyched up about the coming, I guess it'll be a couple of weeks from now. There's some major auctions that are going to be held in our industry. Thousands of coins that will trade for definitely 100 million plus. Now, dealers have got clients that are literally coming into different money. In other words, CDs are coming to maturity, annuities are coming good. People have asset value and they're looking for a safe haven to put it in. Now, I can tell you that we've seen the bubble in the art market, we've seen the real estate bubble, and we've seen other asset classes take a different approach to the industry as to what's going on out there. Now, this is a time where we look for growth. Obviously, the time of the season, we look to all relax and enjoy some time with our families. But this is a time where coin dealers and other jewelers, got a good friend down in right off of Richmond in Houston. He is a watch dealer, and his niche is high-end wholesale watch transactions. Transactions yesterday, I saw a couple of watches on his desk, over $30,000. Items that literally would retail in the $60,000 range. And so ultimately, what I would like to be able to tell you is that from a standpoint of the market is strong for asset class material, it's weak in other areas. So this is an area where people want to secure tangible assets. There is value to owning a Patek Philippe or a Rolex or a Tiffany bracelet or a ring. It's funny how certain assets get sold off and others get held behind. If it's a name brand, a designer name, somewhere along the line, everyone expects to get a bit of a premium for it. But the bottom line is that when you look at value and you look at income versus gifts and all the other spins that there are out there, it really boils down to owning something that somebody else wants. I just had a customer in the store, Mr. Frazier, lives up around the Huntsville area. And this is a regular coin collector. He's amassed a great collection of collector grade coins. Those are coins they're going to grade between very fine, extra fine. There will be some AU graded pieces, but this is the true collector class. The coins that are going to trade for $75 to $100 that if you spend the time and the money, maybe you get a coin that's worth $150. And that's pretty much what he shared with me. He remembered about 6 or 8 months ago he bought 3 different half dimes and dimes, and the coins themselves graded between very fine and extra fine. And yes, they were lower grade coins. I sold them to him at $75 a piece. He spent $25 to $35 to have the coins authenticated and graded. Their value about $150. He was happy with the transaction. I'm happy with the transaction because it's the collector class. It's for the guy who doesn't have $100,000 to spend on the finest known specimen. Now, folks, finest known is for a certain asset class depending on what they've got to work with. But the truth is that this goes all the way back to the conversations that I've had for years with customers. I am in, quote, the retail business. Having a brick and mortar store dictates you're going to be a little bit more expensive than the average guy on the street. But it's not a steadfast rule. I had a lady, this probably goes back about 4 or 5 years now, whose husband passed away. And the first time that she came to visit the store, she had a carload of different coins. I remember pretty specifically because at the time I had 2 girls that worked for me, and this was a collection that stood almost 2 feet off the top of the counters and ran the entire length from the door to the corner, probably 25 feet. Went through the coins. It took us almost 4 hours to do it, and there were 3 of us at work. Wrote a check for 30 grand. Maybe a couple of weeks later, she showed up again with another carload. And this time it was probably 25,000 or so. Multiple hours to pair it all together and hone down what we liked and what we didn't like and what we wholesaled off just as bulk. The clients that came in to buy the material, coins that needed to be graded, we did all that paperwork. The last time she came in, she walked in. I remember the day like it was yesterday because it was the first time that gold had made a serious move. And so when she came in, I greeted her. I asked her if I could go out to the car and help unload some of the stuff. She said, "No, I've got it. I need to know what you would pay me for 1 ounce gold American Eagles." Well, the reason I remember the day so well, it was the first time gold ever hit $1,000. So it was a $100,000 purchase. It was about 11 o'clock on a Friday morning. And I said to the lady, I would very much appreciate the opportunity to be able to own the material, and I'll pay you $1,000 a piece. She agreed, got her driver's license, did the paperwork, wrote her the check. I came back out, and as I started to hand it to her, I pulled it back a little bit. I said, "Now look, here's what I need. I want to pay $1,000 a piece, and I'll lock in that price. But I want the rest of today, I'd like Saturday, and I'd like until about 2 o'clock on Monday. Then I'll overnight whatever's left. Tuesday, I'll get a wire for any balance. You can put in your check. I'll call you as soon as it's good so you can take care of it." She agreed to the terms. Everything was fine. I had 2 customers that came in that afternoon that wired me the funds. The third person came in on Saturday. He wrote me a check. I knew the clients. I knew the money was in the bank. I picked up the phone and called her to please deposit her check first thing on Monday morning, which she did, and that transaction was completed. The reason I'm telling you about that is that I saved about 1%. I made 3.5%. And so for me, buying the time represented a 4% profit. It's about $4,000 on 100 grand. It's not the most amount of money in the world, but you know what? It was a nice, clean, simple transaction I was able to explain, make sense out of it, and complete it. Those coins were sold at what dealers pay each other for the material, and so the 3 clients were thrilled, and I was thrilled. So retail doesn't mean you have to charge 3 or 4 or 500%. I know in the grocery business 30 years ago, they want to operate on a 1% net profit. So for all the advertising, the TV, the radio, the newspapers, at the end of the day, after salaries and everything else, taxes, 1%, that's what they want to make. That was 30 years ago. Can't imagine what the operation numbers are these days. But my point is that because somebody operates a retail storefront, don't think that every transaction must be completed at full end retail. But by the same token, it's important to understand that when you're dealing in an asset like a rare coin, much like a diamond or any collectible, it's a buyer's beware market. It's part of the reason why I'm emphasizing, maybe overemphasizing, what you look for when you look at coins. There are coins that are very, very attractive, and they will command premiums, whether that's their toning, whether it's the luster. You never clean coins, okay? There are conservation companies that will use proper solutions to take off dirt, copper spots, carbon spots, and they will enhance the look of a coin, but that's their call, not ours. And when I look at a coin, I want the right strike. I want limited amount of damage, if you will, bag marks, because you got to remember back in the old days, 100 years ago, coins were dropped in bags. Today, pennies and other coins are dropped in bags. But a penny bag isn't the $50 face bag that it used to be, 5,000 pennies. Today I want to say they're $2,000 face value bags. And you're dealing in tens of thousands of coins. And typically the Treasury, the Federal Reserve, doesn't deal with coins the way they used to. I mentioned a couple of weeks ago I was down off of Allen Parkway, the Federal Reserve Bank here in Houston. Truly enough bays that if this economy went up by tenfold, they could handle the activity. Folks, banks charge you to show up with rolled coins today. 3% to be exact. So in my industry, I want you to understand that you can go to the major grading companies. You can put a coin ID number into a computer and it'll pick it up. It'll establish a rough minimum value estimate. Now, Mr. Frazier and I are talking maybe 30 minutes ago, and he explained that in the event of his untimely passing, he's explained to his daughter that she can go to the website, she can plug in these numbers, she should be looking to get approximately half of the retail value for the coins. Approximately half. Some of the coins will be more than that, some will be less than that. It's upsetting to me when I give a coin to a client, the 2008 Silver American Eagle. It's burnished with a W mint mark, and it's a reverse of 2007. I mentioned it earlier when I did the show this morning. It's a coin that you can't find online for much under about 650 bucks. But I transacted it with a customer, a client, at $450, totally in good faith. He took it to somebody who either A, was going to take advantage of the client because he was 75 years old, or B, the dealer's an idiot. But the bottom line was he offered $26 for it. The client got absolutely hostile, irritated over the transaction. Well, he should have been, but it shouldn't have been with me because the only thing I could find comparable was 50% higher in value. Not everybody's Boy Scout. We all fall short of the glory. But you know what? You do your best and you share information and you give reasons why things happen. So when I look at coins, I want to accept that the low-end value for a specimen could be $450 and the high end is $1,000. If you're paying $450, then you got a pretty good deal. At $26, the guy should be shot for what he did to this customer because he really upset him a great deal, he and his wife. For me, I want to look at coins and I want to talk to the client that says he's got hundreds of thousands of dollars to work with. And when you get to that point, you can start to build a portfolio around really attractive, rare coins, or you go to the other end and you buy a mix of low grade, low premium material, whether that's silver or gold or platinum, doesn't really matter. Now, in the case of platinum coins, you don't find platinum being transacted anywhere. So that's a little bit different because platinum coins come in 1 ounce sizes, they come in fractional sizes, but very few of them ever get circulated. Now, I'm going to tell you that the Dow, for all of the pomp and circumstance that will be around tomorrow's Federal Reserve announcement, was dead flat today. 0.6 was the appreciation, relatively nothing. The NASDAQ was down 1.5. Doesn't really equate to very much, and while the dollar is trading down, the foreign currencies are down. Oil is still trading at $97 a barrel. And what does all that really mean? How does it affect you? You're going to drive home tonight, and if you, depending on the part of the city you're traveling through, you may find gas in the 280s or you're going to pay $3 for it. And yes, there really is $2.80, 85 cent, 88 cent gas out there. My point is that the economy for the bulk of us is a non-event. You're trying to figure out how to pay your bills. You're in your own juggling act, trying to make the car payment and pay the mortgage and your utilities. If you're a business owner, you're trying to make payrolls or you're trying to make sure that everybody's got their health coverage intact. You're trying to do the things to keep your business and your employees alive. Well, in our industry, it's a busy time for bullion dealers that are trying to trade in different types of material. They're trying to get their inventories low before the end of the year because they got to pay taxes on it. For me, it's about trying to explain that there's a reason why you pay $4,000 for a coin that you might find for somewhere between $3,500 and $5,000 in the same quality. It's part of the reason why the conversation this morning dealt with the 1881 San Francisco Morgan silver dollar in Mint State 65, a coin that anybody in a coin that's graded by NGC or PCGS, Mint State 65 would be more than thrilled to pay $160 for. But ultimately, I want to make sure that you understand why you pay the premiums that you pay. Some toned coins you can buy for as little as hundreds of dollars. There's other coins that are going to trade for thousands of dollars. And when they've got the green CAC sticker or the gold CAC sticker, the premiums jump dramatically. All of it matters. All of it's important. All of it matters. And that's really what I want to convey to you today. These are coins that when you get right down to it, are going to trade in different values predicated on how they're being sold off. Who owned them, why they owned them, why they sold them. It's all an important factor in the overall look of coins. Now, it's from that standpoint that I can tell you that people utilize the internet and they utilize different ways of liquidating material. Coins that sell for $160 in Mint State 65, you might find that are trading at values much higher or much lower. If they crack them out, that's a problem. If they utilize other grading services, that's a problem. It is all very confusing, and the layperson who simply looks online and makes a decision that the one that traded for the 165 is the best value is really missing the boat. Now, it's interesting because I mentioned a coin this morning that was trading for around $7,000. That coin is no longer on the site. It's gone. I'm guessing that someone perceived that the value was there, and for an 1881 San Francisco Morgan silver dollar, it came from the Newman collection, but it was also owned by the only man to own all 5 1913 Liberty Head nickels. It's a very interesting time in the coin industry. But this coin sold for almost $7,000. It's no longer available. It's gone. So now, if you look, here's an 1881 San Francisco Morgan silver dollar, NGC graded. If you look at the very bottom of the list, you'll find the coin that trades for, quote, $165. Coins will trade for $300, $500. Thousands. And that's my point when I bring all this up. It's simply that you cannot look online and make a logical decision about the value of a specimen because of the holder. You got to look at the coin. You've got to understand that the different variables that reflect or relate to around what I'm talking about matters. You can't go based off of a dealer who said this coin is, quote, worth X and run with it, because there's more to it than that. There really is. When I look at the value of silver coins or gold coins, and you have to realize that there's many different varieties out there. I want you to own stuff that as you look down the road, you understand that you're dealing in material that can be auction quality. You can own everything from commemorative coins to gold coins to silver coins or copper coins. You can own ancient and Roman coins, which happens to be an area of the market I have absolutely no experience with. But what I can tell you is that when you're building a portfolio and you follow a third, and a third, it gives you the ability to maintain liquidity on the least expensive product, and yes, you're going to get whipsawed by the market. You're going to see days where you make a lot of money, and you're going to see days where you lose money. The palladium market gave back 2%. That's 15 bucks an ounce. The gold market was down 0.75%. It's still open for another couple hours. So the market's not done trading. But my point is that when we look at where the market is, I want to own things that other people are going to want. I want to maintain a market trade. I want inexpensive metal so that if I had to barter with it or I had to pay my bills with it, I can go get some cash, in spite of the fact that I don't like cash. Or you're going to sit through a 10, 20, 30, 50-year cycle. I've got a niece that's going to have a child tomorrow. And that little baby, 30, 40, 50 years from now, could own something that could be somewhat rare by today's standard and be exceptionally rare 50 years from now. There's billions of coins out there, and you can spend dollars to millions of dollars. And people tell me all the time the market can't absorb that kind of material. Folks, there's 10 coins that the cheap coin in the 10 that sold out of the Newman collection sold for $380,000. The coin that was the real winner was the one that sold for $1.5 million, a 1796 quarter in Mint State 67 with a CAC sticker. It shattered records. The coins themselves weren't expected to command much over about 15 million. They commanded a total of 23 million. So even dealers who can prognosticate the market don't know what's going to happen when they actually hit the auction block. And yes, there are dealers that are selling coins, but then you also get to a place where there's collectors. The biggest coin sale of this calendar year was a coin that transacted 2 years earlier. And 2 years ago, the coin sold for a little over $7 million. It sold this year for 10. Somebody definitely made a profit because they certainly didn't intend to lose money on the transaction. And so for me, I want it to be just that simple. I want you to understand, excuse me, that when you look for material, when you come up with a game plan, when you want to implement the plan, you acquire things that other people are going to want based on your need, your liquidity, and everything else. This is absolutely the way to play the game. And it's to have somebody who you can strategize with, who literally wants to be in your backyard. Yeah, maybe he's going to make some percentage. But if you listen to the story and the reason why, you can justify what's happening out there. Anyway, folks, I really do want you to be able to reach out and talk to me. You can call me anytime. It's 281-548-2646. That's 281-548-COIN. Hit option 0. Now, you can visit themeltdown.com. Our toll-free number and our local number, I believe, are both there posted. Yes, Michael? Yes? Got a nod? Hit option 0. That way you don't get trapped in the phone system. Now, you can also email me. That's Brett, B-R-E-T-T, at thegoldexchange.net. If you visit themeltdown.com, there are over 500 shows. I know we're getting close to the 400-hour mark. It's got to be closing in if we're not there yet. Folks, go back a couple of years, listen to the message, realize that it's not gloom and doom. That message is literally there for you. And you can write down notes. We used to take the commercials out of our radio show. Now we're to podcasting. And ask the questions. If you read something online and you're doing research with another dealer, ask me. If you don't want to do business with us, that's fine. I'll still give you a straight answer. Bottom line is there's lots of coins and lots of information. There's educated and uneducated. We'll help you either way we can. I never want to get off my podcast without thanking Texas Children's Hospital, both the Downs Clinic and the Ronald McDonald House. At the Downs Clinic, They take care of many disabilities. That's the Meyer Center. It's associated with Texas Children's, no longer in the hospital. They've moved slightly south of Fannin. But folks, Dr. Ostermeyer and her staff love kids. The Ronald McDonald House at Texas Children's is separate, 20 rooms, somewhere between 40 and 80 people a night, I'm sure. These rooms are for people to be able to relax, read, watch some TV, eat some dinner, get away from the chaos of having to be in the hospital with their kids. Now, there is a facility off Texas Children's. That's a 50-room kind of a hotel motel situation. But this is for the 20 rooms at Texas Children's. If you can provide a hot meal, please call 832-824-8600. That's 832-824-8600. Nancy Allen and her staff will be more than happy to assist you. If you're looking for a place to make a tithe or a donation, go to themeltdown.com. There are donation links. The information is totally anonymous. For me, bottom line is that the information is going to assist the kids, and I love the kids, and they deserve it. Whether you support Texas Children's or any other facility in the medical center or anywhere else in the world, I love them, and I'll do anything to help them. Appreciate you folks listening in. Enjoy the pretty day out there. We'll be in touch again tomorrow at 9 o'clock. If you need me, you can call me. You can email me. Appreciate it. Have a great day, and God bless you.